Here's a show you'll take to like a duck to water.
Come on.
But there's no escaping the rat race.
Rats make brilliant pets. They're intelligent, they're clean, they're sensitive, they're playful, and they're really affectionate. Basically all a girl could want.
And special guest Barbara Windsor judges the canine karaoke. Pets win prizes Saturday on TV2.
It's Breaking the News with Des Clark.
Clark, and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. Once again, we are coming to you from the heart of the Glasgow International Comedy Festival. Joining me are four brilliant panellists. On my right, we have Ria Lina and Gareth Waugh. And facing them are Marjolin Robertson and Robin Ince. In the news this week, Police Scotland have confirmed that former First Minister Nicola Sturgeon is no longer a suspect in their investigation into SNP finances. It's bad news for John Swinney, who now has to share 500 T-shirts with the slogan, "Free the Holyrood One." Vladimir Putin has agreed to halt strikes on Ukraine energy targets for 30 days after a 2-hour phone call with Donald Trump. The call was an hour of discussing terms for the ceasefire and another hour of them both saying, "No, you hang up. No, you. And the prestigious Tour de France cycle race is to begin in Edinburgh in 2027. Apparently, organisers couldn't decide whether to start the race in Scotland or England, so came up with Edinburgh as a compromise. Right, you've met the teams. Let's crack on with round one. This is the Broken News round, where our teams have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So, Ria and Gareth, can you tell me what this is all about?
Liz Kendall's unexpectedly stuck on the International Space Station for more than 9 months.
And it's being described as the biggest shake-up of this country's welfare system in a generation.
NASA's Commercial Crew Programme Manager says...
But the UK government's immoral.
But they're doing well.
Sums it up, really, doesn't it? I'll start with you, Gareth. Any ideas what our first story might be?
I think it's about the benefits, like overhaul.
Well done, sir. That is the right answer indeed, yes. This week, the UK government announced plans for major changes to the benefits system. They were set out by Work and Pension Secretary Liz Kendall with the aim of cutting the growing amount the UK spends on welfare. There are people who simply take taxpayers' money and barely do any work, and they will be voting on these reforms in Westminster soon. Well done in giving us the right answer there, Gareth. Well, what do you think then? What do you make of the announced reforms?
Oh, about bloody time, I reckon. Disabled people have been living lives of luxury for far too long.
Ria, I'll bring you in. What's your take on this? What do you make of these announced reforms?
I'll be honest, I've got a bit of acronym blindness. I was trying to understand exactly what they're doing, what they're cutting. They're merging PIP with Universal Credit Disability, which up here is Adult Disability Payment, so that's ADP. But then people on incapacity benefits are going to be affected. I don't know if that's the same thing as something else. We are abolishing the WCA, which apparently is work capability assessments. I really hate to say this, but I think we need Elon Musk.
Robin, what are you thinking then? What do you make of these announced reforms?
Well, I mean, you know, they started off so strongly by, making sure that old age pensioners lost some money. And, of course, that's always a vote winner. And, I mean, I was someone the other day was saying, you know, Robin, how have you ended up so left-wing? I said, because I've still got the same things I believed in about empathy and care that I had when I was 18 years old. So I think when I was 18, I was kind of a liberal. And now I'm a revolutionary Marxist, just by staying basically where I was. And I look back to the time which we've seen with previous governments, and we saw actually with, do you know what, I can't wait for a Labour government to get in.
Marilyn, what do you make of these announced reforms?
I think they're horrendous. Like, I hate them. It's just, why don't you tax the people with the money, the big corporations? And they talk about it's for pushing young people into work. Like, I think it's great if you can work. Like, I remember when I got my first job in Shetland, but I was a bit long in the tooth. I was 6. But I used to, from a young age, I used to work to my dad in the sheep for 50p a day.
At the age of 6?
Yes, but me and my brother were like, this isn't enough money. 50p for a day's work. Like, what you're just going to do is make, like, little protesters. That's what's going to happen, because me and my brother had this meeting where my brother sat me down, and then up, and then down, then up again, because we had all our meetings on a seesaw.
Well, look, obviously we've seen these reforms being brought in and announced this week. But Gareth, if you were in charge of government reform, what would you do to shake things up?
I would get rid of firemen. To be honest, I think it's too horny a job. There's no reason for it to be as horny as it is. Like, do they need the pole, really? Like, you know, like, they're all like, fire, but first wee, and they're lay down. And if you ask them about it, they're like, well, you know, it's quicker than the stairs, we're saving lives. Well, live on the bottom floor then, you clowns. Like...
The reforms will scrap current work capability assessments and replace them with a more robust test that has been around for centuries. Claimants will be thrown into a river, and if they drown, they will receive disability benefits. Ria and Gareth, well done. You get 2 points for that. It was, of course, the proposed changes to the UK benefit system. OK, it's over to you, Marilyn and Robin. What was the other story we were after?
It's about the 2 astronauts, and they went up for 8 days and ended up being in space for, like, 9 months.
That is the right answer. Well done, yes. This is the news that after 9 months living on the International Space Station, astronauts Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore have finally arrived back on Earth. The pair were originally supposed to be in space for 8 days, but this was extended due to a problem with the craft they had travelled in. The flight home allowed the astronauts to ease back into normal life by charging them £20 for a coffee and a wee tub of Pringles. What a story.
I really like this story. When they landed in the sea, the first thing they saw was a pod of dolphins came and looked at it. Yeah. And I was like, Sonny and Butch must have been like, whoa, humans have changed.
What names, though?
I know.
Sonny and Butch. I mean, that is... They definitely run a B&B in a coastal town in England. We used to be in the theatre, of course, but now we run this lovely B&B. Butch, tell them about when you were in Brigadoon.
Can we just quickly go back and focus on the fact that Suni was the woman outside of the ISS for the longest time a woman's ever been outside the ISS?
Yeah.
Can we just focus on it? She made that record, which is nice to know that they also make you smoke outside on the ISS. It's good. It's, you know.
Health and safety. Were you pleased to see the astronauts finally come back to Earth?
Kind of. Like... I just think if we'd kept them up there, like, a couple months more, we might have got the greatest love story of all time.
So obviously the pair were only supposed to be in space for 8 days and had an unexpected delay. So what's the most unexpected thing to happen to you at work?
I used to work in a lighthouse. Gift shop. And... yeah, but it was a beautiful spot in Shetland at the end of this peninsula where the North Sea and the North Atlantic meet. And some killer whales came right up to the cliffs. That's not the unexpected thing. They came up like 3 times in the space of a week, this pod of killer whales. And any tourist who came into the gift shop, I'd be like, oh, if you go to the foghorn over the South Cliffs, the killer whales are hunting right now. You can go see them. And one woman came into the gift shop and I was like, oh, if you go there, you'll see them. Every customer ran out. But this one woman was like, oh, no, thank you, I'm fine. But I was like, there's a pod of killer whales just seconds away. And she's like, can I ask, where's your tank? And I was like, the fuel tank for the lighthouse? She's like, no, silly, for the killer whales. She's like, I can see them whenever I want because I'm in Florida, so we have SeaWorld. So, yeah, that was...
Oh. I thought she wanted to go to war with the killer whale.
They sound dangerous. But yeah, that was the unexpected thing. The other unexpected thing when I worked in a lighthouse was one day when I crashed my car driving to work into the lighthouse. So, the building famously designed to avoid collision.
love that. Ria, what do you think about this then? We're talking about this pair being in space for an unexpected delay, but what's the most unexpected thing to happen to you at work?
I think genuinely it's your hand right now on my thigh.
I used to work for Samsung a while ago, and I was like the area manager for like mobile. So my job was to go in and train people on all the new products. And I worked there during the time that they made the Note 7, which I don't know if you remember, exploded a lot. And I got a phone call one day, just be like, "Don't go to work, the phones are exploding." And that was pretty good fun. Because it was the same time we were like doing the VR headsets, you know, when you clip it into it. So it was like, the whole thing was we were trying to advertise these VR things, be like, they're mind-blowing. And they sure were.
Yes, well done, Marilyn and Robin. You get 2 points for that. It was the mashup of the plans to change the UK benefit system and the return of the 2 stranded NASA astronauts. And well done. At the end of that round, it's 2 points apiece. Now, much of our news is about public opinion, so to find out what stories people are talking about, we spoke to 2 friends of the show, presenter and vinyl addict Grant Stott and star of The Chase, vixen Jenny Ryan. So firstly, what do you think Jenny is on about here?
I'm all for nostalgia. The original movie was basically the most faithful adaptation of Jane Austen ever. I do worry that we have reached peak 90s nostalgia. So many of the bands coming back. We might get a bit sick of it, really.
I think it's a new musical, and it's another movie musical, but it's meant to be absolutely fantastic, and it is the musical of Clueless.
Yes, there is a new musical in town, as cult film Clueless has hit London's West End. The stage version has remained true to the movie, bringing up the 90s nostalgia, and has an original score by none other than Scotland's very own Katie Tunstall. What about this, Robin? Well done for getting the right answer. Although, is this proof, can anything be a musical these days?
I think anything could have been a musical. If you look at South Pacific, it's actually a really political thing. If you look at the Evita, you know, you don't immediately go, "Oh, do you know what? It would be nice to go and see a musical about a dictator's wife, wouldn't it? It really would." Should we do Eva Braun? No, I think that would be a bit near the knuckle.
Oh, Marilyn, what do you think about this? Can anything be a musical these days?
Well, we all know the famous musical Cats. Why don't we have goats?
Yeah, I think we're interested.
Unanimous. Thank you, Glasgow.
Can anything be a musical these days, Ria? What do you think?
I dreamed a dream of panel fame, where comics joked and chat was flowing, where everyone would know my name, my public profile ever growing. Then someone said it's just in Scotland. The worldwide stage will never know you. I said, is it paid? They said it's the BBC, so essentially no. I said, I'll come if there is iron brew. I dreamed a dream of panel fame.
We are just getting word in our ear. Breaking the news, the musical. Let's do it. This year at the Fringe, can we make it happen?
Yeah.
News, glorious news. We're anxious to break it. I've wrote a rude joke. I hope the edited makes it. Let's see what Trump does this week. It's bound to be good. Oh, news, wonderful news, marvelous news, glorious news.
I'm afraid it's a no from me.
Oh, brilliant. A musical makeover is the right answer. Marilyn and Robin, you earn 2 points for that. Over to you now, Ria and Gareth. What do you think Grant is talking about here?
Some 29 million people are wasting time by turning up to these unnecessarily. What are you doing with your time? Go back to bed. It's like taking your car to the garage when it's just passed its MOT. It's a waste of everybody's time.
I think this is this idea from the Tony Blair Institute that we should use AI assistants to replace like GP receptionists.
Well done. Great answer there. Yes, a report by the Tony Blair Institute has said that replacing GP receptionists with AI assistants could free up millions of appointments. The Institute said patients were often given generic advice by untrained receptionists and call handlers who used decision tree models, asking one question then moving on to the next as part of the script. There are some rare conditions that mean speaking to an AI assistant won't be of any use. The main one being, of course, having a Scottish accent. Gareth, how do you feel about an AI GP receptionist?
Well, if I wanted to speak to some non-entity incapable of feeling, totally compassionless, devoid of human nature, then I'd just stick with the GP receptionist I've got.
Marion, I'll bring you in this one. How do you feel about an AI GP receptionist?
No, because not until I understand Shetland dialect. Because I'll phone. It's hard enough. Like Des, let me try some words on you and see if you, as a human, understand what I'm talking about. I think I need an appointment. I have a terrible feary. What do you think a feary is?
Terrible feary?
Yeah.
What are we? You're anxious? Are you scared? You just...
No, it's a fever with diarrhea. Terrible. What about this one? I need your help, Des. I am jondering.
It's just that you've not broken eye contact with me. I'm jondering. I'm
jondering badly.
Is it that you can't sleep?
No, I'm on heat.
Now the eye contact thing makes sense. Robin, what do you think? How would you feel about an AI GP receptionist?
The question is, do GP receptionists dream of electric sheep? Do you know what? I think anything that gets rid of humanity is a bad idea. I think anything that gets rid of... and you would just find yourself, yeah, I think I've got chicken pox. I believe you want to go and see Fast and Furious 7. No, what? So, yeah, I'm not overly confident.
Well, obviously, we're talking about ways in which we can enhance and improve the GP experience. That's just one suggestion. Ria, how would you improve the GP experience?
By not being sick. It sucks every time, and I realize it's because I feel crappy whenever I'm there.
That's the problem, isn't it?
So I want appointments when I'm feeling good. And we might actually see more of our GPs if we actually just went in there once in a while for a cup of tea and a chit-chat. That might be the problem. They're hiding from us because we're all just, like, diseased. And they're like, oh, God, no, I'm going to catch it. Like, I have to work, you know?
Gareth, what do you think about this? How would you improve the GP experience?
We're always going forward with stuff. I think we should go backwards, man. Things were better. We all know it was better back with vinyl, Polaroids, Helen Mirren. Old stuff's good. And I think if we had GPs with, like, those big, long nose masks, and if they started treating you with leeches and cocaine again... You'd be too scared to go because you're like, I don't know which one I'm going to get. I'm either going to have a really good time or quite a bad one, so...
Well done. Replacing GP receptionists is the right answer. 2 points goes to Ria and Gareth. This is Breaking the News from BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who's in the news. I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So, Ria and Gareth, you're first this time. Who is this?
Jimi Hendrix burned out. Bang, he was gone. Kurt Cobain, bang, gone. Buddy Holly, bang, gone. And that's the way everybody remembers him. Well, maybe it is better to just burn out than it is to fade away.
It's a man called Neil Young.
Yeah, well done, Gareth. That was the right answer. Musical legend Neil Young announced this week that he will not use dynamic pricing for his gigs and has credited The Cure's frontman Robert Smith with inspiring his decision. Dynamic pricing essentially means an increase in prices for the most sought-after tickets. In 1969, Neil Young performed at the legendary Woodstock Festival. For younger listeners, Woodstock was like Transmit, except when security checked you for drugs, it was to make sure that you had enough. What do you think about it, Rhea? How do you feel about Neil Young's stance?
I'm so sorry. I know I've heard the name. I couldn't tell you what one of his songs is, and so when someone,
my, hey, hey, rock and roll is here to stay. It's better to burn out than to fade away. There you go.
I actually know who he is
I
less now.
still don't know. No, just generally speaking, I'm so cynical. But when someone like Neil Young goes, "Yeah, I'm not going to do dynamic pricing," all I hear is, "Oh, are you not selling well?"
Robin, what are you thinking then about this stance from Neil Young?
I think it's great, and I do think he sells. And Robert Smith, who The Cure sell an enormous number of tickets, and I love Robert Smith. And Robert Smith as well has this beautiful thing with fame. If you've ever seen when he was on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, when The Cure were put in there, and there's a journalist, and she goes, "Are you as excited as we are about coming into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?" And he just goes, "Not by the looks of things." No. And it's just
Well, obviously, gigs aside for the moment, Gareth, what do you think? What's the one thing you would spend a lot of money on?
Genuinely nothing. I don't mean to sound miserable. I just got like working class guilt. So anytime I spend money on anything, I feel so bad. I buy stuff for other people, and I always get people good presents. The thing is, right, my wife, she's from a different social class than I am, right? And so it's ruined my Christmas because I now spend Christmas with her family, right? I am working class city scum, and they are country posh. Right? The very first time I went to Christmas at their house, they woke up and one of them was like, "Oh, before the presents, we'll go for a nice walk." And I was like, "Yeah. We went for a walk is what happened, right?" And before the presents, right? The only thing my family does before the presents is a bottle of Baileys, and that is it, right? Her dad this year made me, with his hands, a welly boot remover. And I don't have welly boots, so... He knows what to get me next year, I guess, but...
Marlene, what about you? Let's leave gigs aside. What's the one thing you would spend a lot of money on?
Jigsaws. You might think jigsaws are cheap, but that's because you've seen them in charity shops. I like giving to charity, but I don't trust them to buy a 1,000-piece jigsaw, which you've been doing for 5 days with your partner, but you get to the end and you're like, "I don't know if all the pieces are going to be here. What if we're missing one of the pieces?" And you stop trusting yourself, your partner, and the dog. You're like, "The dog ate it because there's a picture of ham." Like, it's mad. And it's mad because you buy an entire jigsaw and you're missing a piece. Where you're like, "I'm guessing I'm going to have to order another entire jigsaw just to get that piece." You don't do that at cars. You don't lose a tire from your car and go, "Well, I guess I'm going to have to buy a second car." It's unsustainable, Des.
2 points go to Rhea and Gareth. That was, of course, Neil Young. OK, your turn now, Marjolaine and Robin. Who is this and why are they in the news?
There are some who say that communism is the wave of the future. Let them come to Berlin.
That's John F. Kennedy.
Is the right answer.
But he's dead.
Yes, that's right. This week, the long-anticipated remaining JFK files were released by executive order of President Donald Trump, who said people have been waiting decades for this. In America, confidential documents are labelled top secret, while, of course, in Scotland, they're labelled keep your mouth shut and don't be a grass. Well, look, this has been everywhere this week. Donald Trump has released all the files into the death of JFK. Why do you think they've released them now? Rhea?
I mean, who cares? Like, honestly, the man's dead. Like, who cares? Like, Trump does something weird every single day. Why? I don't know why we're focusing on that. I mean, JFK is, if anything, I want to know why RFK Jr. is still alive. Can we focus on... He's got a worm in his brain. Like, who's doing all of the decision-making there? Is it him or the worm? You know, these are the questions that need to be answered.
Why do you think they've released them now, Gareth?
I think Americans do have a bit of a prerequisite. They like focusing on like past things. And as a Scottish person, I think that's great because we get to pick and choose the parts of history that we were involved in. So when Americans are like, "We saved you in World War II," we can be like, "Oh yeah, well, we had the greatest empire the world has ever seen. The fact that you can go anywhere in the world and speak English, that's because of us. So how about you pipe down, you Yankee Doodle ditty?" And then, as Scottish people, we get to go to these places that Britain colonised and we can go, "Yeah, that was out of order what England did to you, by the way."
Love that. Well, look, obviously the JFK files are out there. People still combing over them as we speak. But what historical event do you want the truth about? Marjolaine.
I want to know more about the Bermuda Triangle. You know, the main question being isosceles or equilateral.
Robin, what about you? What historical event do you want the truth about?
Well, there used to be an advert for the chocolates Revels in which they would reveal that they actually took up more space than if you bought a normal box of chocolates. And I believe that was not true. And I bought a packet of Revels yesterday and there didn't seem to be many in there.
As conspiracy theorists know, JFK was shot in Dallas, Texas, as were the moon landings. Yes, of course, JFK is the right answer, and 2 points go to Marjolaine and Robin. It's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
Oh, I get into such a fine call there.
Oh, that's Michelle McManus trying to figure out who killed JFK. Fingers on the buzzers, teams, and here we go. 1 in 4 young people have thought about doing what? Marjolaine.
Phone the doctor because they're jondering.
1 in 4 young people have thought about doing what? Robin.
Shouting, shut up, shut up, shut up, when an uncle yet again explains that the COVID vaccine actually contains tiny robots.
I love it. Right, 1 in 4 young people have thought about doing what? Gareth.
The other 3?
Jondering.
Yeah, probably have, actually.
Jondering or whatever.
Oh, I bet they are. We're looking for this answer. 1 in 4 young people have thought about leaving the workforce in the past 12 months.
Oh, I get into such a fine call there.
Oh, there's our klaxon. Michelle has McManus. That means at the end of our quiz, our winners this week are Marjolaine Robertson and Robin Ince. And commiserations to Rialina and Gareth Waugh. And we'll leave you with the breaking news. Breaking news just in. The nationalised Ferguson Marine Shipyard in Port Glasgow has lost out on a contract to build 7 new CalMac vessels. The decision makers weren't impressed by Ferguson's bid document, which was titled, well, we couldn't do any worse than last time. A Bulgarian football club has apologised for holding a minute's silence for a former player who turned out to be still alive. Petro Ganchev said he thought something was up when his wife tried to scatter him on the pitch. And an aquarium in Boston has created a retirement home for its older penguins. 6 of their penguins have been moved to an area which will better suit their health needs, allowing them to relax and help them pick up their pensions. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye.